Hello my darlings, welcome to my YouTube channel, Ode to the First Light. So cool that you are here. This is a space for me to really express even more of who I am, and that is something that continues to change on a daily basis. There is not one particular way or one particular thing that I am going to be expressing here. It really is going to be an array of delicious, magical creativity that is wanting to come through me in the moment. So Ode to the First Light really is an ode for us, like waking up each day and choosing who the hell we are and owning that we are a walking, talking piece of art, and that whatever we have to share is so freaking beautiful and important for someone else to like ignite something within them, and for that ripple effect to really flow. Like that really is what I am wanting to express here. So I'm starting with an app, I'm starting with a phone, and I'm going to be evolving every day. So if you want to come along with me on this journey, press subscribe, please comment, interact, reach out, find me on Instagram if you don't already follow me, kj.stone_. It's going to be really fun. My darlings, pour yourself a cuppa and enjoy this show. And hello my darlings, are you able to introduce yourselves?
Sure, my name's Brittany and I am a co-founder of the HEMP Temple. And
my name's Isabella and I'm also a co-founder of the HEMP Temple.
Woohoo! So last week, I think it was last week or a couple of weeks ago, these beautiful women shared a post on Instagram about their story of their hemp temple creation, and it really touched me. And I've been following these girls since the beginning of time. Not sure how long that's been, but I really felt like I wanted to document their story and take photos. And then I saw another post the other day and they were in Margaret River and actually living around the corner from myself, which is crazy, and I love how that shit works. So we are here together, sitting, sipping tea, and here we are. We're going to hear the story of the Hemp Temple gals.
5 years ago, Izzy, Anna and I, we had all gone to preschool together, so we'd known each other since we were 3 years old and gone to primary school, and then all ended up at the same high school together, and then went our own ways and kind of tried to find ourselves, and then all ended up in a share house together. And we watched a documentary called Zeitgeist that was just like, you know, just breaking down the system and really highlighting what it means to be a human in this time and what it means to be a part of a society that you didn't necessarily feel like you fit in, and there was reasons why you didn't feel you actually did fit in, and we were like, wow, there's so much more to life than what we were told. And so we were like, okay, cool, what do we do? So we came together, and I had like a little blog where I promoted artists, and it was called Friday Hut Road, which is a road in Byron Bay.
I love that. Friday Hot Road?
Hut Road. Yeah, and so I interviewed artists and just had a little following, and I loved writing, and I'd write about being a teenager and, you know, having one night stands and just those silly things.
Gorgeous.
And then, yeah, we all came together and we were like, okay, cool, let's create something together where we can work for ourselves and travel the world. And we were like, okay, well, let's go to all the cool marketplaces in the world and sell things online and be called like the traveling traders. We had no money, so we went around to all the homes in our area and stole succulents out of their front yard. And we put it in pots and pans from our house that we were all sharing together. And at the first like town markets, we sold out all of the stolen succulents and made our first $300.
That's wicked.
And that's like, that would be like our first business like moment. And then
Stolen succulents. Which they wouldn't have even missed in their garden.
No,
wouldn't even notice.
Know where we came from.
No.
That is gold.
And then we'd like be out at night and like dare each other to like just transfer like $150, and then we'd all have to do it. So we'd just be slowly building like.
So how old were you at this time?
21. We were all
Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
And then what happened? And then we were still researching, and then we'd all started like parallel to this like business trail was this like really crazy road of self-discovery. So like yoga, meditation, crystals. We all became Reiki healers. Like we were like so deep into like all the facets of like the new earth and what society could be. And then Izzy was going to study in Spain, so Izzy went to Spain with the $300 and bought jewellery from the marketplace in Spain, and then shipped it home, and we sold it all again. So there's this like, you know, this like keep going.
So real entrepreneurial heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we can make this work.
Yeah. And then, you know, you're reading all the books that are like manifest your reality, like have no fears. So we're just like so young, so naive.
Yeah.
And then
a woman walked into Brit's shop. She was working like a retail shop, and Brit just started talking and telling her about like what she wanted to do, and she was like, if you ever want to make clothes, like here's my number. She was working in Bali at the time, and so Brit and Anna went over on the way to Spain and made an overalls range, like dungarees.
Cool.
And they were all in like these funky patterns. We were really like inspired by Mambo and, at the time.
Mambo is cool, man.
Yeah.
It's still cool.
It's so cool, but it's just like so different to what we have
Right.
now.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But yeah, made this epic line of overalls, and then just like slowly sold them really slowly throughout the year, because we hadn't set up like a proper website and vision and
the
all
foundations.
of that stuff. We were just kind of like, go do something.
Yeah.
And we ended up meeting each other overseas and just kind of wanted to create, but at the same time like this journey, kind of like a pilgrimage, was like overtaking the actual physicality of like, let's find a production and this and that. So we were traveling through Europe and then to Morocco and started production in Morocco, and Brit had like a Moroccan lover who was just this crazy witch man, and we all had these like intense
She shakes her head.
dynamics of like communication and like self-work, and just like this like intense foundation of like really going through something together was being created. But it didn't turn out really well, and then in the end we had to like let go of like thousands of dollars worth of samples that we created, and like all of these raw materials. We just started like cutting them up and like making bandanas and like scarves to go to India, and just kind of escaped from Morocco.
Right.
really quickly.
Yeah, it was just a cutting of like something, and ended up really frazzled in India, and just spent a month doing yoga and just like reconnecting and kind of being like, what the hell just happened? Like, where do we stand? Like, what's our vision now, you know?
Are we still friends? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, a
Yeah.
big upheaval.
Yeah, so it was a real like just coming back and tuning into like the energy of India and the magic there. And I went to an ashram, and a woman said to me, you should go to Pushkar, and they do lots of cool creations there, and we were like, all right, let's go. And it was like one of the first shops that we walked into was just this like beautiful raw and white and like really plain coloured and simple designs in like this sea of like colourful madness. And we walked in and just vibed out so hard with the maker there, called Mr. Jane, who's just like our man.
Yeah.
And we just sat on the floor of his shop drinking chai and like chatting philosophy for like 4 hours or something crazy. It was like 2 meters by 2 meters.
Yeah.
And just
I can so see, I've been there, so I can see the story that you're painting right now. Yeah. Just keep going.
yeah, and it's so cool because even now we sometimes get messages like, we just met Mr. Jane, like we just had chai with him. And
Awesome.
like people that
Random
follow us,
people,
or just
yeah.
our friends.
Yeah.
But like it's crazy. Like there's a community that are getting to know him through us, and you're just like, whoa.
Doesn't it blow your mind? And the power of Instagram.
It's
Yeah.
such an incredible
Yeah.
platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, the community that has now like been created. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. So from there,
From there, we kind of were really obsessed with the Gujarat pieces from the desert as well. So we bought just like heaps of these like beautiful natural dyed like ancient rugs and like throws and crazy madhouse colors, as well as like we ordered a bunch of things that he had and made a few designs and came home with like crystals and all of these new things, and left our suitcases in the hotel and just like brought home all this new stock.
And left all of our clothes, everything. Like we just were coming home with magic, really.
Yeah. And then had a market stall. It was like just before Christmas at one of our friends' pizza shops. And
So how many years ago was this?
4 maybe.
So that's when it, like the right at the start, when it was
Yeah.
starting to be birthed. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we sold like half of it. And then over the next 3 months after that, we sold the rest of it.
And this is when you were called the Hemp Temple?
The Friday Hut Road.
This is still Friday Hut. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then so we were like, okay, well, let's order more. And just kind of slowly we're doing that. And then about 3 months in, someone recommended, or somehow we got connected to the film The True Cost, which is just this like horrendous revelation of the fashion industry and, you know, its atrocities, and we just kind of had this like breakdown moment sitting on the floor of Anna's kitchen, and we're just like,
It's over.
it's done, unless we can find something that like feels good, like we can't possibly exist and contribute to this like monster
Gotcha.
that's just killing the earth.
Mm.
But then we kind of had this revelation of like, you have to be in it to change it, otherwise who's going to do it? And we found out about hemp, and we were just like pestering Mr. James, do you have hemp? Like, do you have hemp? And then
He was like,
one day-
he's like, I do this in the 60s. Hemp is in the 60s. You want all old styles, like flare, hemp, what is this? Like, it's, no, use new stuff. And we were like, no, like, we need the old, we need to bring back the old, and we want the hemp. And yeah, then he sent us samples. And we were like, our best sellers was like a jumpsuit in linen. And we were like, okay, like, we're going to really let go, even though that's what's making us the most amount of money. We're going to let go, and we're going to commit to hemp. And we just sent the whole range hemp. And that's when we moved to Byron Bay, and we were just like, we're going to sell hemp. We did the markets. Like, this is kind of where the story from that post picks up, where we opened a little shop in our hometown, and we were also selling out of there, and we had like an in-house psychic. Like we were so young. We were 22 now, and just like playing with energies we didn't know much about, and trying to run a business, and living at Anna's parents' house, like only paying ourselves $50 a week, because we were just like, fuck the system, like I'm not getting a real job. But at this time we all had like nannying jobs on the side, so the three of us have all been looking after kids like in this time as well, that we were trying to kind of make it on our own. And then we moved to Byron, and we were living in my family's shed. Like, you know, snakes would crawl up our like shirts at night, and we'd have to like go outside to the toilet. And
I'm loving this story so much. Oh my god, I love documenting the journey. It makes me so excited. Like, so many people are going to get so much from this share. Like, it really excites the shit out of me.
Thank you.
Keep going.
And we were like, a friend of ours was building tiny houses, and he was like, girls, like, get on the dole and do the knee scheme, so you can have that financial support during this time you move up here.
And can you just let anyone know, what is the knee scheme?
So the knee scheme is like a government funded, you do your certificate 1 in business.
Yes.
And they encourage you and help you on your journey. But, you know, I was in there, and it was really like setting you up for failure. So they like do a whole course on how to declare bankruptcy.
Right.
Like, you know, the energy was quite dense.
Yeah.
And I've spoken to other people doing the knee scheme, and they've said it was like a totally different experience. But my experience was like, wow, like I feel sorry for the people in this room. Like, they don't have like this, like I have Anna and Izzy like supporting me behind me. Like I feel like for business and collaborating and like really moving as a tribe is so important now. Like, I just don't know how people do it on their own, business on their own. I just see like suffering. And, like, absolutely agree. So we got on the dole, and like I didn't even tell my parents, because like they would be mortified that I was on the dole. Like, you know, it's just so not done. So like I don't like me even sharing that post. I was like people are gonna find out.
And how well received was it?
It was
like,
so well received.
Yeah, because it's real. It's fucking real.
Yeah.
Like, people need to hear this sort of stories, because so many people need that permission to create
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Especially when you're so interested in starting something, but you're like, how do people do it? Like,
Yeah.
where do the resources actually come from?
Yeah.
And like the first 10 grand that we started off, I was at uni at the time, and because I was going overseas to study, I was able to get this like grant of like 10 grand. And so I was like, I don't really need it for myself. Like, let's just get it for the business. And so we used this uni loan, and anyway, blew half of it. But like, we'll have to pay it off someday. But
Yeah.
just kind of using what you can.
Yeah.
And then, getting on the dole and having nannying jobs. And then, when we moved up to Byron, that was when we cut off all extra work and just were like, let's figure out how to make this grow, you know?
And we were like sleeping like three of us all together, like in the shed. Like the business was in the shed, we were in the shed, and we were like it was the energy of our relationship was so intense that it was just like passive aggressive chaos.
Yeah.
Like, you know. And then I started seeing an acupuncturist, and he's like, have you heard of Codependence Anonymous? And I was like, no. And he's like, I think you should come. And then I started going to these codependency sessions, which is just like a group of people that have the opportunity to just share whatever it is that is on their heart or like in their energy body that's just like linked to like your childhood trauma, you know. And then you just like are manifesting it in your relationships because you've never heard of it before.
So safe space.
And like
so
really
important.
held, and it's like an offshoot of AA.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the three of us, all at Codependency Anonymous, and our relationship
At the same time?
At the same time.
Yeah.
Wicked.
And our relationship just
I'm getting goosebumps.
transmuted, you know.
Wow.
We just saw each other, like, and we just, I don't know.
Because it just really helped teach the art of like communication in like a safely held way, which we could translate into like business meetings and things like that, where you could like have the space to talk and then like not have it commented on, or like, you know, it really created, we saw how like if you don't have this foundation, like businesses can just crumble.
Yeah.
And like pretty much it was
Inevitable.
also like the revelation of like being an empath is also probably you're codependent, like because you're feeling everybody and having such a small space and small container of like business and friendship and work and like everything together. It was just like so intense sometimes, but like the most profound cauldron of transformation of like learning these fundamental things of like boundaries and like how to communicate and like where you start and someone finishes and like how to work and then turn off. Like it's just such a strange, like chaotic labyrinth to navigate of like relationship.
Wow.
And the business was working. We were like making thousands of dollars each weekend at the markets in Byron. We had all these women contributing and supporting us, and there was like, that was doing well.
Yeah.
And what wasn't doing well was ourselves and our relationships. So we were just like, wow, like there's so many facets to this, because you'd go to a business meeting and like be choosing a sustainable dye color and just be getting so angry and like I'd have to get up and walk away, and it was over a color, but like I was just not, you know, I wasn't able to express anger,
Yeah.
which is what it came down to.
Oh my God, business is such an amazing portal for
Yeah.
growth, isn't
Oh
it?
my
Isn't
God.
it? It is.
People don't realise,
it's
especially when
everything.
you go in partnership.
Yeah, totally. It is. It's a really close
Yeah.
relationship, and it
Yeah.
unravels you
Oh my God.
over and over again.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's magic, really.
it really is. Yeah.
Yeah, we were discussing it's sacrifice, I guess. It's like you sacrifice your ego for friendship and like the earth, like our business is for the earth. And
Yeah.
when I first started the business, I didn't think it was going to be for the earth.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I've gone on this like full journey, and you just keep shedding layer after layer after layer.
And it really does not be about you at all, doesn't it? Like, and the
Yeah.
people that come to you, like me, for instance, like I was looking for a hemp product, and I didn't want to go and buy a daggy one because there was lots of daggy ones around, and I saw you guys on Instagram, and when I received your package and opened it up and held it up, I'm like, oh, like just that feeling in the heart, like it was beautiful, and just smelt it and knew that where my money was going and that you were supporting a community in India, and like it just felt really fucking good.
Wow.
So
I've got goosebumps.
yeah, but this is the power of like sharing and getting out of your own way and sharing your creativity and doing the work so you could work together. Like that is so amazing.
Yeah, sometimes we have these like moments where we receive just like the most beautiful messages or like the most beautiful responses or gifts or something, and you just like, wow, it's not even like if we created something for then people to create through, it's like, because we just get sent like beautiful images and like people doing rituals, and like just this community has like created itself through the platform that we created.
I
like,
was wondering about your
powerless.
images.
Like,
Right.
So it's like it really is just this like co-creation, and sometimes we just like kicking ourselves how lucky we are at like how empathetic and like understanding our customers are, and like emails, and like when we talk to other businesses and they get like really horrible things come through, we're like, all of our customers are just so beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Well, you've learned how to get out of the way of the business. Like it really is an entity of its own, isn't it?
100%.
And it's like it's for the earth and for the people.
Yeah.
And you've birthed her.
Yeah. And I think the greatest thing that we can do is just hold space. And so we have like we hold space in the ethereal world of Instagram and social media for people to create through. And if that's anything, that's like the greatest thing I could possibly do, you know. And then we started, Izzy did like a shamanic women's course with Jane Goodall. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was like a year-long journey with like 50 women.
Wow.
Where you'd meet it like 4 or 5 times a year and just go like deep into like self-work / like the women's mysteries, and like relearning like your birth story and like your ancestry, and like how your relationship to your blood is like imprinted on you as your beliefs about what it's like to be a woman, like when you were first started bleeding, and just like this whole veil just like opened up for me, and I just was like, girls, like women's work, like I just feel it so strongly, and like it like ebbs and flows to, I'm like, oh yeah, and then other things, and I'm like, oh my god, the women, and I just feel like so much of what we create is really focused on that, but like still enough space for like the men's products and the men to be there, and I think it's a really beautiful like mix somehow, trying to balance it.
Yeah, for sure. And do men do you hear from men? Do they reach out as well?
Yeah.
I love that too.
Yeah.
I've just started to have men reaching out to me more, and I'm like, I would love to open up, because I'm very much about women's work as well, but I'd love to open up that space more, because they're ready now to receive that, and they want to, and they want to be held as well. And I guess just it will naturally evolve for that to happen, but and not trying too hard, but just knowing that open for it to happen is really cool. Yeah, that's awesome. I was wondering about that.
And then we were like living in the shed, had the business, and like there was this real energy of like, do you still want to be making like a small amount each week? Do you still want to be living in your family's shed? Like, what do you really want? Like, are you ready to take the leap? So we packed up everything, and when you're on the dole, you get a month of travel. So we're like, okay, let's go to Nepal. So we were on the dole in Nepal searching hemp products, and we packed everything up, put it all in a garage, and we knew when we came back to Byron, we were going to get a house, we were going to be all online, and we were going to just somehow get over the line, like another big hurdle. And we went to Nepal, and then we designed samples, found a hemp production over there, and then we were like, okay, let's go and climb some mountains. So we like went into the Himalayas with like no training, like nothing, and we just like helped each other get up these mountains.
Oh my god!
And we just like
literally climbing mountains for this business.
Our friendship just like took on a whole nother thing again. We were like, we are like best friends first again, and it just healed. We like when we got to Nepal, we could afford like our own hostels. So we were all in the same street, but all at different hostels.
Cool.
So we were like, let's just
have some space.
And everyone's like, you know, you girls need to like separate, like not until you separate, like will things start happening. So we were like, you know, shit, like, you know, open and yeah, and then we went to Nepal and then came back to Byron, moved into a beautiful home, and then we started holding like drum journeys in our home, and so we were holding space in the physical now, which was so nourishing to kind of like really ground that ethereal space into the physical space and just be this like multifaceted system, I guess. And we had a little shop in Byron, and then it was like January the 2nd, and someone was like, you girls should call your shop like the Hemp Temple. We're like, let's just rebrand, just come together as three instead of, because Friday Hut Road had been like my little birth.
Now I'm remembering that being called Friday Hut Road.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wow.
I always thought it was Hemp Temple, but now I totally remember that. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Sorry.
And then
Slow.
we like rebirthed it together and like looked at the time, we registered the business name, and we were like, okay, it was born on the 2nd of January at 11 a.m. and this is
What
it.
year?
In 2018.
18, yeah.
So it's only a couple of...
It's only
a couple
two.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Hemp Temple's only 2.
That's right. Now I'm remembering the Friday... Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then, so then there was just like another big year of just self-work, going to these meetings, like the Shamanic Woman's Journey for Ears, and holding space in circles, and then it just another real energetic change. We needed something else, and so yeah, we went traveling all throughout Europe and ended up at a community called Tamara in Portugal. And we realized we were just like a mini healing microorganism for people and ourselves. And so many people had been like, it's not until you girls separate and do your own thing will you like start, you know, succeeding. And we were like, no, like everyone needs to come together. And so we like had this real revelation of like coming back together. Like before we went overseas last year, Izzy was like, I think this could ruin our friendship forever. Like it was another point, like, are we going to stay together? Are we going to continue the Hemp Temple? So you're just like constantly recommitting, constantly checking in with yourself and with each other, like, do you want to do this? And then yeah, this community really changed us. It was like we have been living in like a little like circle of trust for so long that we have this like effortless energy to just hold space, because we are all like, you know, we're like almost like telepathic, you know, you just look at each other and we're like, yeah, you got it. But you know, it's just this rhythm that we have now, and I think that's what people see in the business is like this like silent love, or this like yielding, I don't know, you
can really feel that, and just the way that you're sharing this story with so much heart, and that it's so beautiful. I actually want to cry.
Oh.
It's so beautiful. It's like it just feels really lovely to receive. Yeah, so beautiful. Wow.
I think that's where we're at.
Yeah, and do you want to add that now you're in Margaret River and
when we were overseas, going to this community, just and the whole traveling really was just like an understanding of like, we don't want to move back to Byron, and where else in Australia can we live? Like, we're from Sydney, but that's just not at all in resonance with who we are and the space that we need. And it was this real like tiptoeing of like, where do you want to live, and where do you want to live? Like we still wasn't certain like whether we'd all even like live together again, or you know, if we could figure out how to work in different places and things like that. And just kind of happened that Britt suggested Margaret River, and I was like, yeah, I've always wanted to go there. And then she remembered that her brother lives pretty close.
I was like, oh my god, my brother's there.
We're like, well, let's just fly in and let's go check it out. And things just started happening, and like I posted on like this Facebook group, I was like, does anyone have a van that I could borrow? And this guy was like, yep, it's 3-seater, just like $300, like go for it. And he like left us food in there, and he just ended up being an absolute legend, and like hung out with us and stuff like that. And I'd found this house because I was looking at on the real estate, and there was nothing that I was interested in. It was all kind of like suburbia, and I was like, I just want the perfect house. Like, I don't care where I live. I just want the house to feel so good that I can just, like, we can all create there and have space and be nurtured. And we had this vision, like, so strong. Like, I read out my, like, manifesting list to Brit the other day. I was like, Brit, it all
We were
happened.
sitting in
Boom.
Izzy's manifestation.
Oh my God.
Yeah, to the like,
I'm
point,
sitting in
you
it
know.
too. My own manifestation.
Yeah, it's so magic.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I just asked this guy, because it was a property rental, if we could rent long lease, and he was like, yeah, why not? We were like, not trusting his word, because we were like coming from like the Sydney energy of like,
Right.
come on, fast paced, and like, you know, and here
Yeah.
everyone's just like slow and like just trusting and
Yeah.
kind. And he was just like, yeah, move in whenever, and we just moved in last week. So,
Amazing.
yeah.
It's so beautiful to have you guys here, and you're going to meet some amazing epic humans, and I'm excited to see what you guys in the Hemp Temple weave into this community. Like, it already feels really special, and people are going to find you from sharing, and it's just, I'm excited to see what unfolds.
Oh, me too. Thank you. And
Pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Oh, and just getting your voice message, I was like, Izzy, listen to this. And we were like standing in like the only reception because we don't have Wi-Fi yet, just like at the reception chair, like listening to your beautiful voice. I was like, oh, we have a sister.
Oh, yeah, and this is a beautiful like reminder and example to reach out to people, like, because often we can just wait for something to happen, or like, I knew I wanted to meet you guys and document you guys, and then there was your post. So just reach out, send voice messages the best,
Yeah.
because you
they
can really
really
connect
are.
more and
Yeah.
really feel like the excitement and whatever in the voice. So yeah, it's really special. So anyone out there who is dreaming something up, just action it and reach out and do your thing, and the worst thing that can happen is it's not going to happen, and that's okay, something else will. So yeah,
Amen.
thank you so much for sharing your beautiful story. Let's go take photos. Much love.